Hey everyone, this is Caroline. Welcome. Sorry, I'm a bit delayed. I had a little bit of a technical issue. My camera wasn't turning on. I had to restart my computer. So for now, let me know if you can hear me, see me clearly, so I can get going. For those who are just joining, welcome. If this is your first time, I'm Caroline Corey, and I have a new film out that is coming out very, 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 very soon, July 14th at midnight Pacific time. The title is right behind me, Superhuman, the Invisible Made Visible. I think the title alone should make you want to see this film. I mean, is it not intriguing enough, exciting enough? Anyway, I cannot tell you how important this movie is. Everybody should see this film. And even if you've seen it before in a sneak preview or something, make sure you go now, right now, superhumanfilm.com, and click on the pre-order link, because then you get bonus clips which you wouldn't get otherwise. And so I urge everybody to do that, because this is the kind of film that you want to keep. This is the kind of film that you have to see over and over. It's not a romantic comedy. It's packed with very, very crucial, important information on everything we've been talking about. You know, consciousness, mind, energy. It's all packed in there. No one's done it to that level of demonstration and scientific research. And so there's nothing like it out there. So I urge you to go do that right now. Okay. So also we've been teaching classes on telekinesis, blindfold, all kinds of very, very cool stuff, even spoon bending. And so if you're interested, for those who have taken the class, we've had some kids able to read completely blindfolded after 2 lessons. This is crazy stuff, you guys. And so you really have to look into it. That information is also on the same website, superhumanfilm.com. Go to the workshop and look at those classes. And then for the new classes that are coming up, just make sure you're signed up for updates so that you get the updates, okay, when new classes come up. And so honestly, when I was thinking about what to talk about, there's a lot to talk about, you know, but I'm really so over the COVID story. I don't know about you, but it's like the rehashing of, you know, this whole drama and this whole agenda that we can all see through by now. So I'm wondering what I want to talk about. I'm just going to let it flow. I'll do a live channeling session, I suppose. So today Michael is not with me because we got him working on the film release. He's got a lot to do. So we said, you stay home, focus on that. And Xavier is with me today, helping me with this with the questions. So if you would like to start asking questions, yes, any sort of question that you think it will help you, let's go ahead and type in your question, or wait for a little bit to talk. You know, let me talk a little bit if you want, but then I'm going to just answer your questions, because I feel like there is no more rehashing to do about what is happening. So for those who are joining for the first time, just go back to the previous sessions, the previous lives. It's all on the YouTube channel. And by the way, you should all be subscribing right now as well, if you haven't done so. And so we talked a lot about the COVID thing being a story. It doesn't mean it's not a virus. It is a virus, but the way it is affecting us, the way it's developing, it's all a part of a much bigger picture, a bigger plan which is basically to take away our freedom, to make us much more, to turn into a digital society. When everything is digital, it's easier to control. I can press a button and affect millions of people through their iPhones, their AI, the satellite, all kinds of stuff, as opposed to doing it the old way. And so this is what this is about. This is where this is going. But the bottom line is, how do we deal with this, and how do we navigate what is coming too? So from the beginning, I've been saying there's wave one. We've kind of gone through it. Now they're preparing us for wave two. Everybody's going to get it. Certain states are worse than others. And so they're preparing us for more isolation, more restrictions. And then, so you better be prepared in the sense that, of course, you have to abide by the law. But the problem is, they started out this whole thing with so much confusion, such a mess. This person telling us one thing, this other person telling us something else. These are authority figures that are supposed to know what they're talking about, and they don't. And so they're all displaying this lack of efficacy, of leadership, and it's pretty pathetic. And so what's happening because of that, you don't know who to believe. You probably don't want to believe anybody. And so, okay, I don't know how to mute the ding thing, so sorry, you're going to have to live with that. This is Xavier just sending me the question. So I'm going to look at that in just a moment. Yes. So let me just keep on rolling here for a second. Yeah, so they're preparing us for wave two, but what's happened, because it started out like such a mess, feeding us lies and stories, and then these are the numbers. No, these aren't the numbers. This has to do, the hospitalization, is kind of manipulated or whatever, because the insurance company is getting paid, people are making money, blah, blah, blah. So all of this is now, at the end of the day, making us not believe and not trust. We're not trusting the authority figure. And so of course, we saw this whole George Floyd situation starting out as a racial issue, but actually turning into more of a bigger problem of social fed up. People are fed up of being told what to do, how to do it, especially when it doesn't make sense. For example, wear a mask. No, don't wear a mask, because the mask protects you, but then the mask also prevents you from breathing properly. Let's go ahead and close all the beaches on July 4th holiday, which is one of the biggest holidays in America. We're going to close all the beaches, but then we're going to keep the parks open. So because people can gather in a park, but cannot but cannot gather on the beach. I mean, where is the logic in this whole thing? Like the virus is going to just go to the people that are going to the beach, but they're going to avoid people at the park. Just doesn't make sense, this whole. So what I'm saying is, all these restrictions, I don't know who's making them up as we go along. They're not making sense. And so because of this, we have the tendency to say, well, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to listen to you, because first of all, you contradicted yourself about 10 times. This other guy is saying something different. And whatever you're telling me to do is not making sense. And so because of that, I feel like when the second wave comes, it's not going to be as civilized as the previous one. Because even though a lot of people are in fear, that's true. A lot of people are getting sick, that's true. But the way they're going about it is so weird and wrong and so bizarre and so messing with our heads. A lot of people are lucky, maybe they live alone or they're comfortable in their isolation, but a lot of people are struggling. They've been living with parents and spouses and children on top of each other in a confined space. Speaking of being healthy, you have to exercise in California at the gym. You have to exercise with the mask. How do you exercise with the mask? You're breathing and then you're sweating on top of people. So it's just like, the whole thing because it doesn't make sense. So my point is, the next wave, I think is going to attract more social unrest. People will take the street because they're not going to want to just abide by these regulations because they're not making any sense. And so I would say this is why, especially now with the summer months, I mean, of course, some areas are better than others, but also they told us that when the summer comes, it's going to be easy to control because the virus only is worse in the wintertime. Well, I guess it's not. So the thing is, with all of these restrictions and us feeling stifled more and more, I think when the next wave comes with the laws, for example, now you get penalized, you get a fine if you don't do this and you don't do that. So it's getting more harder to operate. And so you better be prepared for not just those regulations, those restrictions, but also the people reacting to it. And so again, I talked about this before, taking care of yourself, meaning how do you protect, make sure you have a way. I would say I started doing this myself, a way to find food, create food, water, always have a supply of water. You'll say, why water? The water's not going to stop running. Well, it might. If your electricity is cut off for a couple of days, that affects your water supply. So anyway, I would say be vigilant, be smart, be prepared. Now, as I'm saying this, at the same time, last time you heard me talk about how you create your reality with your consciousness. You have to pour in the positive. Yes, but first you have to know the story. You have to create your reality within the story, because you're not the only one on planet Earth creating. There's all these other people creating. And so you want to know the story, get the story, understand this is all we get it, the illusion, the fear-based, the agendas, and then within that, create your reality. And so I give you a lot of things to do, to think about last time, how you project your consciousness into the time-space continuum. Every time, now that I'm speaking, for example, I am speaking and I'm using English words to express myself and to communicate with you. But my higher consciousness is also tapped into the unified field. It is pouring information that I want to pour into the collective consciousness, which is, I'm going to stand up for what I believe. I'm not going to buy everything I'm being told. I'm going to take care of myself. I know that I can take care of myself. I can be healthy. I will be healthy. All of these powerful statements, my higher consciousness is pouring into the collective. So if I do this and you do this, and you're all coming from all around the planet, I can see people in Europe, people from all over the US. I see people in Australia. I see people. So what this means is that we're all geographically doing our little share so that globally we create this new energy. And this is how we stay connected, and we create that framework for our reality while others are creating their reality. Very important. The problem is, like, when you do that, you don't see the immediate result. It's not like a cause and effect, So I'm thirsty, I drink, I feel better. It's a direct cause and effect. But when you're thinking, when you're pouring your thoughts into the collective consciousness, you don't quickly see what you just did. You just have to trust. You just have to believe. You just have to know that that is also the law of the universe. That's how it works. And so you just have to trust that it may not come to you instantly. Nobody's going to knock on your door as soon as you think, oh, I want a new relationship. The door's going to, somebody's going to knock on your door and he's the guy or the girl, or whatever. I mean, that could be nice. Like, it does happen. What I'm saying is the way you are maneuvering, the way consciousness interacts and connects with time-space continuum in the physical world, has like a delay because it's multi-layered, multidimensional. It's not linear. It's not like I do this one thing, I get it right away, then I do the next thing, then I get it right away. It's not like that. I'm going to do this, and that, and I'm going to get them on different timelines at different times, you see. And so that's why I'm saying don't give up, and don't give in to the illusion that it has to be an instant gratification, and that your thought and the way you project your consciousness is not doing anything. This is the biggest lie, if you will, because we've been told, yeah, hey, if you don't see it, if you can't touch it, it's not there. This is the biggest lie and the biggest manipulation of the human consciousness. And so that's kind of what I want to start with. I have a little bit more to talk about. But what I want to say is also, for you have to believe that there are other people like you. Of course, we're all coming together and we're talking about all this together. And I think if you're joining my webcast, you're probably agreeing or understanding what I'm saying. I'm hoping. But there are other people who are also doing their share of the breaking down the illusion in their own way. So, for example, as I said, some people are going to take down to the street. They're going to say, enough is enough. I'm going to protest. Who wants to protest with me? Other people are going to, for example, actually, this has already started. There are groups of very powerful individuals who have started class action lawsuits against government officials for actually, and not just governments, but all kinds of very important entities that against the way they have pretty much collapsed our economy and our healthcare system. So these are actual lawsuits. There's all kinds of stuff that's being prepared against the healthcare system, against also technology that's being implemented right now. AI, the whole 5G thing, but it's more than 5G. It's all kinds of AI technology that is coming, that is part of this making the society digital. And so there's, what I'm saying is, we're not in it alone. We're doing our share, my part anyway, is how consciousness can shift the physical reality. And so that is something that you can do sitting in your living room, in the comfort of your home. All you have to do is think, project your thoughts. It's so easy, it's free. And so you can just be doing that. And while others are also helping by doing more physical things. And so you may or may not be aware of all of these other things going on, but I'm telling you, there's a lot. In fact, you're going to start hearing these stories. Those who feel they want to, go and protest, they're doing their share in their own way. Those who are, believe that they have to go and help in another way, for example, the sick or something, they're also bringing that change in their own way. And like I said, on a legal system, there's all kinds of stuff against the healthcare, against the technology, against the environment, all kinds of things that have started to basically, all of this will ultimately collapse those systems. I talked about this several times, that this has to do with the old paradigm, institutions and systems having to break down. We cannot create a new system of government, a new system of economy, a new healthcare system, a new system of education. I mean, it is so corrupt, so messed up, so strange. We cannot create those types of realities while this other system is the dominant one. So that's why those those entities have to break down. And this is how we are breaking them down. It's multi-layered. It's not just the one story, the one thing that you see on the news. And so that's why I want to keep bringing it back to you, that your share of changing the consciousness, shifting the consciousness is very easy to do. I've given you tons of tools and meditations and exercises and things. And this movie, by the way, that's all it's about. That's what it's about, actually, so that you can be doing your share while you know and trust and believe that there are others also assisting in a physical sense, doing their share as well. And of course, needless to say, that I can tell you for sure, on the other side of the veil, we also have very, very, very unique energies that are present on the earth right now, that are also assisting with this major global shift that is also has to do with alignment with galactic, with like a cosmic, astronomical and cosmic perspective. So that's what I want you to have, this vision that you are sitting in your room and doing something with your mind, with your consciousness, with your energy. You're doing that. They're doing that. Trust that everybody on this call and all the people who are going to listen, they're going to do that. Other people are doing the lawsuit because that's what they know how to do. Other people are doing the protest. Other people are poking at it this way. And so we're all kind of, it's multi-layered, multidimensional, and all of us at the same time on the other side of the veil, we're being held by this magnificent divine organization that is, to me, the divine plan. It's these beings are working on a cosmic, astronomical level, also kind of holding everything that we're doing together. I just want you to I hope this visual gives you an understanding, because otherwise you feel you're alone, you feel you're lost. You listen to the news and you're like, mask and this and fear, I gotta go shopping and buy this and my kids in school. So you're thinking about all the, and then you forget the bigger picture, the bigger story that is working very, very well. So that's what I'm hoping to bring back to you, this visualization of what is really happening. Okay, so I'll take a break from talking and let's see. Okay, Xavier, he's been sending me a bunch of questions. Let's see. Whoa, there's quite a few. Do you consider visual imagination thinking within the fifth meditation? I'm not sure what this means. Can you be more specific when you ask a question? If we pre-order the film, we have the subtitles in French. Yeah, so the film is coming out with all the following subtitles: French, Dutch, German, Japanese, Portuguese, and something else. So anyway, it's written, I think, on the website. But everybody gets all the subtitles, so it's a setting. So when you get the film, you just click on subtitles and then you select your language. Okay. Do you know where to get the copper sheet? You know what? I'm so sorry. Many people have asked me this. I keep saying that I'm going to post it and I don't. So I've been bad, but very busy. So I'm going to post it. I promise. Anybody can get a copper sheet. You can Google it. You don't need me for that. But if you feel more comfortable, I can. I'm going to repost it. Xavier, please give me a reminder to post when we finish this broadcast, to post this copper shield, where to get it and what it does, in the comment or something like that. Do you think a whistleblower from the CDC will ever come forward? They have already come forward. In fact, what is the name of this person? I can't think of her name right now, but it's also the pandemic documentary has a whistleblower who was working with the CDC who can tell you everything about it. But there's another person. Her name, I can't think of her name. Kim, my friend Kim from LA. If you are listening, remind me. I think you're the one who forwarded that thing. I'm gonna make a note as well for myself to post that, because they already are coming out, and they will. If you look carefully, you will see them come out. Do you see major disclosure happening soon with all the sex trafficking and pedophilia? Yeah, exactly. So I feel like, so as these systems start to break down, all of these all of this old paradigm stuff is going to start to come to the surface, and we already know these things are happening, but they will kind of pop up. They will come up more in our face, just like everything that is happening right now. But I feel it's not quite the right time yet. And if you notice, there are more and more movies and documentaries about sexual abuse with kids and underage kids and things like that. So it's almost like it's already in the air before we could never ever talk about it or show anything, let alone make a movie about it. So it's definitely on the way. People are allowed close together in a park and not in a restaurant outdoors. Do they contradict themselves on purpose? Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, are they like really not listening to each other, what one person's saying versus another? Because these regulations just don't make any sense, like you were just saying. So in a restaurant sitting outside, it's okay, but not in a park or not in a gym. So I don't know if there's, I just need to kind of look at it and see if there's purposeful in this confusion. To be honest with you, I feel like as I look at everything that's happening, to me, it feels more of a mistake. It feels more like they think they have it together, but they don't. And then also, I feel like some people are flipping. So meaning like they were part of the agenda, but I think along the way they're changing direction too, which is unexpected, which then the other people have to kind of go, oh, well, this guy's no longer kind of part of this agenda. I feel it's more along those lines, honestly. This is just my personal opinion and feeling of what I see happening. Because it's on purpose. I mean, even if it's on purpose, like if you think about it, if they're doing all of this on purpose, is it to, you would say like, okay, it's to confuse us so we don't listen to authority, so that we don't listen to the police, then they'll bring down the National Guard and eventually it's martial law. I mean, like, yes, that could be possible as part of the game plan. But honestly, I feel more that it's just not working according to plan exactly the way they want to. And even if that is the strategy, we already can see National Guard. We already know, we've heard that the military could come down. We've already seen actually some stuff happening along. But as I fast forward in the timelines, I think it's not going to come out exactly in the way they think, because other things are going to happen. We just have to wait a little bit later in the timeline and look at it again. Okay, let me see. Do you see the defunding police agenda a move in the right direction? Yeah, again, I think everything that's happening has to do with authority. Basically, now it's a perception which has been very, very successful. Again, it started out as a racial thing. Now the entire planet is reacting about inequality, not just racial issues, towards the police. And so this now gives you a belief system that the police is not perfect. And, the next time I see a cop, I'm going to have all these stories come up in my head. Therefore, I'm not going to trust the police. And this gives me the subconscious right to say no to a police officer who stops me and tells me to show my papers or whatever. You see? So it's already the part of this, now this, I think it's more part of the plan to make it that we don't trust the current authority figures like the police, so that more chaos would happen, more social unrest. So that, I think, is part of the picture of the plan, creating more disruption within society. So, okay. Will Superhuman Film come out on DVD? Yes, indeed, it is. Just go to the website, superhumanfilm.com. You'll see all the information there. I can only pay with PayPal. Is there a way to purchase the film? I am not sure, honestly, because at this point, the distributor is in charge of that part of the transaction. So I recommend that you perhaps, I don't know, I'll ask the question, but maybe just try to find a way to have somebody purchase it for you or something like that. Okay, is there really any truth to all the stuff we see and hear on the media? You see, the media, I think it's very interesting. I think that the media is just also trying to make sense. Now, there are people in the media who definitely know what the agenda is, what they're supposed to say, when they're supposed to say it. But I think as this trickles down, or as you go lower in the rank of the anchors or whatever, I don't think these guys, all of them, really know the full story. Some may do, but may know the story, but some of them, I think they're just trying to make a sense out of all of it. So that's why some of them, are authentically wanting to share the truth, are saying these are the numbers, or these are, and they really truly believe that that's what it is. And so I think that's the problem too, is that these are humans on all levels. And so you just have to just kind of gravitate towards the ones that you resonate with at the end of the day. And to me, this is a very positive thing, because this makes you be very vigilant in discerning with, instead of just like buying into whatever this guy on CNN says, or Fox or whatever, you just buy into it. So I would say, don't believe anybody and just listen to the stories and then do the discerning yourself. Do you create your reality within limitation of what is happening, or can you create an unlimited perspective? Well, so what I'm saying is, you are creating from an unlimited perspective. That's exactly what I'm saying. When you are looking at this bigger picture, you are seeing everything that's being created. I'm talking about the pandemic and all that stuff, but you're not creating your story inside that story. In other words, like, for example, they're saying, okay, you're going to have to be vaccinated to go back to school, to go back to work. That is the story. So you don't create your reality inside the story and saying, oh, I'm going to get vaccinated, but then I'm going to be okay. You create your story from what you believe in. I believe personally that I don't want anything injected in my body. Other people, you don't have to agree with me, by the way. Some people think it's perfectly safe, and that's fine, but that's my story. My personal story is I'm going to create a reality so that I don't ever find myself in a situation where I'm forced to take. So maybe this will limit my travel. Maybe I can't go to some places anymore. I have to make that choice. But if my priority is to not have anything injected in my body, then that's what I'm going to create. For example, the other day I was driving, and I got pulled over by a cop because I had not stopped at a stop sign, because there's nobody there. So I just kept going. So I did not stop at a stop sign. My driver's license had expired, and my license plate was expired and was from another state. So 3 major violations that at least I would have a couple of fines, real fine. For those who live in the US, no. And so anyway, the guy comes, and actually I didn't even know that my license was expired, but I knew I had made the turn because there was like nobody there. Anyway, so he pulls me over and he's like, okay, your license and registration, please. So I give him the papers, and then he goes to his car, which that's what they normally do, and they look you up. And he's like, usually it takes like 2 minutes or something. He's sitting in there. I swear, literally, it was like 10 minutes. It was 15. And I'm thinking, what is this guy doing? But in the meantime, I can tell you right now, these are major violations. You can get serious fines. What I started doing within this framework, within this reality, I started bombarding him and bombarding the unified field with, I didn't mean to do anything wrong. I didn't hurt anybody. I want to come out of this clean. I want to come out of this clean. I want to come out of this clean. And so I was projecting what I wanted to create, because honestly, I didn't, again, I didn't run over anybody. Like there was no danger for anybody. So I was in my truth. And so even though within the system that has rules and regulation, I said what I want. Anyway, 15 minutes later, the cop comes, and I'm thinking, oh my God, did he? I'm telling you, my record is so clean. Like I don't even have a parking ticket to my name, So that's why I was so surprised. So anyway, he comes over and he said, well, I had a hard time finding you. It's like you were invisible. I was laughing in my head. And he said, I couldn't find you. And then your license plate, your license is from another state. Anyway, long story short, he said you have 3 violations. 1, you didn't stop, your driver's license and your license plate is expired, and you don't have the proper right to drive, because you're supposed to change your driver's license when you move from state to state within 30 days, sometimes 60 days. And I had been there like 10 months or something. So literally, I was in complete violation. And so he said to me, I don't know why I couldn't find you, but I'm going, and as he's talking to me, I'm bombarding him even more and more. I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm safe. I'm clean. I'm going to get out of it clean. And I swear, he says, I'm going to give you, I'm going to let you think about this and learn from it. I swear, this is a cop. Learn from it. And this time I'm going to let you go, but make sure you take care of your driver's license and your license plate. And he gives me the address of the DMV, where I'm supposed to do all of this, because I'm in a different state or whatever. And he said, you're supposed to have done this after 30 days or whatever. And he lets me go completely without a scratch. So again, for those who are in the US, know that 3 violations like this are very, 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 very difficult to get out of. One of them is already pretty bad. And so this is an example of how technically the laws and the regulation and the restrictions are such, right? This is the paradigm, but I didn't buy into it. For example, I didn't say, well, he's going to give me a ticket, let it be at least $25 instead of $500. I didn't say that. I didn't want to create within the system. I created what I wanted, because in my truth, again, I wasn't harming anybody. So, and so that's the difference. I could have said, oh my God, he's going to give me at least 1 ticket. So let it be less than $100. That was one choice. But I chose something completely different. Does that make sense? And so that's the reason why, no matter what the story is, you can still find a way to create your reality the way you believe. And it was hilarious how he said, it's almost like you're invisible. I was like cracking up. Anyway, I hope this gives you an idea how you can still create what you want, even though the rules and regulations are what they are. Okay? Okay, I think I answered that question. What's the safest? This is another good question. What is the safest state in the United States? So here's another thing. I think the entire country is going to be a mess. The whole planet's going to be a mess. I think that you have to feel what's right for you. Okay. So even within a state, like even in California, there's all these restrictions. So maybe you're not going to want to be in Los Angeles. You don't have to move to another state. Maybe another part of California may be better for you. First, in some cases, you're going to have to move to another state for sure. So I cannot say that there are certain states that we all should be moving to, obviously. I think it's more case by case. because, and also depending on your situation, your family. So you really have to discern and see what makes sense to you. But obviously, the big cities are the hardest to be in because of the chaos, because what's coming. It's much harder to get out of a bigger city than a small little town. That makes perfect sense. Or to find stuff to survive when there are lack of supplies and things like that. So that's what I'm going to say about this right now. Should we be concerned living 20 miles from a nuclear plant for a long term? Yes, of course. That is a no-brainer. What do I do about entities trying to attach to me in my sleep? Okay, so this is a separate conversation, but I talked about this many times for those who listen to me on Wednesday. We've been talking about attachments, which is not a new subject. We've been talking about it, but attachments can latch onto you, especially with what's happening right now. Also during your sleep. That's why especially during your sleep, actually, because normally you leave your body. And so just before you go to sleep, just do the connecting to source meditation. Not just any meditation, the connecting to source meditation, and wrap yourself with this energy just before you go to sleep, and say and intend for you to stay protected with this energy while you're sleeping. I've seen so many times where at night you're outside your body and another entity comes in. So when you come in, there's somebody else there. And so that's how it works. And this is very real. Okay, so I wanted to talk about free energy, but I feel like we're coming towards a close here. But for some reason, I feel like I need to put it out there. So I'm going to talk about it, even though you don't see is there anything else, Xavier, that I should be looking at that is relevant, or are we good? Yeah, the cop, right? It's kind of a funny story, isn't that amazing? But this is like an example of what's possible. I've done many things like that where, again, now if I had broken the law and hurt someone or something horrible, that's a different story. But it's not, it was nothing that, that's the reason why I know there's a lot of questions. So I just want to leave you with this. For some reason, I feel like I want to put this out there because I want you to also start creating this with me. And again, you may not see the relevance of this at all. And it's okay, because I can see way down the timeline. And I feel like as long as we just talk about it and just like project our consciousness in that direction, it's important. So I'm going to say it. It has to do with free energy. Like I said, you do not see, you may not see the relevance with COVID or whatever is happening. But I just want to give you a visual or a kind of a projection of how free energy may come about, as opposed to, of course, right now we think we are creating solar panels and things like that, and wind, energy and things like that. But to me, this is still very old paradigm. It's temporary. It's much better. Don't get me wrong. But I think the subject of free energy is going to become very, very crucial and important, especially after 2026. But we have to, again, you create by putting in the collective consciousness that information that multidimensionally, the cause and effect, you'll see it down the road. And so if you could visualize for a moment what real free energy is going to look like. So free energy means that it is available everywhere, from the universe. So it's not like free, like you don't pay for it. I mean, even that you're not going to pay for it. But the thing is, the idea is that we're drawing energy from the resources of the universe itself, from space itself. And so to me, the real free energy, the way it's going to come about is when it is a system that is based on the universal laws, which are based on intelligent design. For example, you have a physical body that is made of chemistry. You have a bunch of particles of, carbon and silicon and oxygen and whatever. That is your chemistry. But your chemistry alone doesn't do anything. You need the electricity to make this chemical component move. So that's your nervous system. So your nervous system is the electrical component that's making stuff move and behave, and adding more of this chemical component, whatever. So my point is, you need both systems. So, and then that becomes an energetic, a self-maintained, self-sustained system. Okay, so I do not need to plug myself in the wall, an electric outlet to have energy. I have energy because I'm eating food that mix with my chemistry, and my autonomic nervous system, which is my electrical system, makes the stuff move and go where it needs to go, and therefore I have energy and I can do whatever I want. And so I think the free energy has to work in the same way. And if you notice that we don't have, you're supposed to take the energy that you need and then use it in your body, and then excrete what you don't need. Obviously, if you don't, then you just add on, like you pile up more energy than you need, and that is called gain weight, you see. And so what I'm saying is, the system is such that to self-maintain, you draw what you need, you absorb it, and then that's all you need, and the rest you don't need. So that's the reason why a free energy system that's based on storage doesn't make sense to me. It's almost like you're saying, let's pile up a bunch of food in case I don't have, I cannot sustain myself in a week. It doesn't work this way. I mean, doesn't supposed to work this way. You're supposed to eat what you need, nourish what you need, and that's it. And so that, otherwise it piles up as weight gain. So my point is, we're supposed to have a system that draws on the energy, the natural energy that is available. Just like our nervous system, we're breathing naturally the air, and we're sending into our lungs, and our nervous system is making our heart beat. It's all automatic. You don't have to do anything to make this work. In the same way, the universe has those components. It has the chemical component. It has the hydrogen. It is the most abundant in the universe. So the hydrogen is there. There are other chemical components, but the electrical component is that will move stuff around, the chemistry around in the universe. If you think about it, is light, particles and waves, actually, and sound waves. And so what I'm saying is that if we want a system that's organic, that provides a self-sustaining, self-recycling energy system that creates the energy that the planet needs, it has to be based on the chemistry that is in the universe, which is hydrogen, and the electricity that is in the universe, which is light. So you don't have to worry about if you're an electrical engineer, you can start to kind of calculate. A lot of people are going to think I'm totally crazy, and that's okay, because you're not the only one. And I'm totally fine with it. But it's important to me. I operate on a different level, and I think it's important for you guys to start thinking also that the planet, not just you, needs to be beginning to create that reality for itself. That's the reason why I'm talking about this. So if you can start visualizing that all these hydrogen molecules in the air are the energy, and the light is actually the carrier of this energy form to the planet. Of course, having said that, it's a bit more complicated in terms of mechanism, how it will work together, and how that will fuel your phone and your house and your washing machine or whatever. That's for another conversation. but I felt like I wanted to leave you with this visual so that you assist the earth as well in starting to manifest this next layer of consciousness and reality, because to me, that is a free form of energy that is based on universal laws. It's not based on human laws, based on fear and lack, where let's store a bunch of stuff, let's store a tank under a home and then, connect it with cables and cables. I cannot stand cables. I'm allergic to cables. I feel like there's cables everywhere. We cannot, of course, now it's all wireless, but it's another type of cable. Even if it's wireless, you're connecting wirelessly to a machine that's plugged into the wall with a cable. And so there's nothing that operates here without a cable. And it's a very, very old paradigm system that keeps us stuck. This is the big manipulation that we need to be stuck and draw energy in this way. And so the stars and the planets don't have any cables. Let's learn from that and basically begin to kind of visualize that on a planetary level, the planet is starting to draw this energy in this way. You don't have to know, again, more than this right now. And so that down the road, and those who are listening and don't think I'm crazy and are inventors or electrical engineers or scientists, whatever, who don't think I'm nuts and know where I'm going with this, can contact me and then we'll talk more about the rest of the story. But anyway, I don't know if this made sense at all, but I just felt like I wanted to share with you this visual so that we start to collectively integrate it with our creation. And yeah, how does that help COVID? Well, I don't know today, right now, but humanity as a whole is moving forward and we're all creating a reality. So my future reality is going to be based on free energies, is going to have no cables. My house is going to have no cables anywhere. And that is part of the so again, when I'm talking about free energy, it's not for our dishwasher and our garage and things like that and our television set. It's for our bodies as well. Hello, the major point that I'm trying to make here. This is the fuel also that you can draw on for self-healing and self-repair as well, which you're doing anyway. You are doing anyway. In fact, that is the clash. When you're doing connecting to source, you are drawing source energy into your being and you are reprogramming yourself. You're already doing that. But then there is a disconnect with the physical world that is based on electricity and electromagnetism and plugging everything into walls. So you are organic and this world is not organic. And so that is the problem. So my point is, when the world becomes charged up organically, and you are charging up organically, you're going to be able to charge up so much quicker and maintain. You're not going to need any shielding, in other words, at that time, because you and the space around you, the environment around you, you are all operating under the same universal laws. Does that make sense? And do you see the connection? How you will self-sustain and the planet will self-sustain, so everything is coherent together. I hope you like this. Did that make sense? All right, cool. All right, so anyway, yeah. So anyway, for those who are into this field, I would love to speak with you more in details about that in practical terms, and otherwise, in the meantime, just pour in this visual of organic body, organic environment, all connected through the same divine intelligence, universal intelligence that governs all of creation. Okay, there you go. There you have it. If you have not subscribed, please do so right now. Click on the subscription, like right now, and invite your friends. Share this. It's totally free. So please share it with your friends. Leave more comments. If I didn't get to your question, I will go back and answer your questions as much as I can. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Tune in, go to carolinecorey.com, superhumanfilm.com. Thanks so much for tuning in, and see you next time.